Hello and welcome back to another video of mine. My name is Reed Callum. Today we're doing the second part of my video that I put up on Thursday. On Thursday. And that is a transition overview. And that one I talked about how I felt before my transition. And in this one I will be talking about my decision to transition and how I feel overall about it now, plus a little bit more into specifics on that. So we're just gonna jump straight into that video. And when it actually came to deciding whether to have top surgery or come out or to start hormone replacement therapy, it was all kind of different. I sat on the possibility of coming out for, I think it was like 3 years. It was since my senior year in high school that I kind of really figured everything out. Or at least knew that I wasn't cisgendered, so I was battling with like figuring out what term I wanted to use to identify my gender and what pronouns I wanted to use, finding a name and all that type stuff. And then at the same time I was worried about like telling my friends and if I would have friends afterwards, which I do, and it didn't bother anyone. But that was a constant source of worry for me. Because I always seem to assume that people are going to leave if they find something wrong with me, which hasn't happened with my friends or anything like that, but I guess it's just a childhood type thing, but we're not going to get into that. But yeah, when it came to deciding about my top surgery, I started going to therapy after I came out as trans to my friends. And once I started going to therapy, I was always talking about how I wanted to have top surgery and that I was scared to have top surgery because I thought about like, well, what if I'm wrong? What if I end up regretting it? Stuff like that. But yeah, I was talking with my therapist about like, what if it ended up being the wrong choice and stuff like that. And like, whoa, honestly, when it comes down to it, the worst thing, if it is the wrong choice, it's not that big of a deal. At least not to me. That's how I was talking about it with my therapist. Like, there are women out there that don't have boobs. It's not a huge problem if I ended up deciding that I wasn't trans or whatever, which isn't the case. That's not the case at all. I'm definitely trans. But it was just a worry in like the back of my mind and why I put off having top surgery for so long. Plus I wasn't really ready to come out. But all the way up until like the actual day of surgery and stuff like that and going into the pre-op room, I was scared about it, but I knew it was the right choice. Like, it was still a thought in the back of my mind, but I knew it was the right choice and it was the right time to do it. And I had come out to everyone, I had told everyone about it, and everyone was fine with it and everything. Some people, well, the way I came out to my family is I posted something on Facebook. There wasn't really a better way to come out to the majority of my family. My dad and my stepdad, I told my stepdad through a call and my dad through a text message. Not the best way, but I'm not really close with my family, so I mean, at least I told them at all. But with that said, I was worried about the top surgery and everything, all the way up to the point of actually getting it, but it was as soon as I got it, and I remember my sister asking me when I was sitting there post-op in our Airbnb, and I was crying because I was in pain and all that stuff, and she asked me like, well, do you regret it? And I remember looking up at her through tears with the big swollen lips, just like pouty face, you know, and going like, no. I remember doing that, and I haven't regretted it, not a single day since. I get a little bit of dysphoria about or I guess unease about my scars, but I always, when I'm looking in the mirror and I'm worrying about my scars, I always try to remind myself that the scars aren't important, that what I have now is so much better than what it was before, and if I just take my eyes off the scar part of it and just look at the overall picture, it makes me feel so much better about myself that actually had top surgery, and it makes me giddy sometimes thinking about it. Like, I'm getting kind of giddy talking about it right now. And then when it came to my hormones, which I started a month after I had my top surgery, not even a full month. It was like 4 or 5 days shy of a month. which was the plan. Like, I was talking to, like, I'd scheduled my appointment for hormone replacement therapy while I was scheduling my appointment for my top surgery, and I just decided that it was best to start afterwards so I could, and about a month after, because it was the soonest I could, where I felt like I'd be comfortable being able to do that, being healed enough and stuff like that. But I wasn't actually that worried about starting hormone replacement therapy because I was more sure on that than I was sure on top surgery. Mostly because top surgery is like an instant change, like poof, it's gone type of thing. But hormone replacement therapy is a slower process, so I knew that if I decided for whatever reason that I didn't like a certain aspect of it, or hormone replacement therapy as a whole, that I could just easily stop and it wouldn't be that big of a deal, not much would have changed by the time, like stuff like that. Like, it wouldn't have been an immediate problem if I had decided that it was wrong. Which I didn't, obviously. I'm still taking hormones. I'm still super excited for all the changes that are coming and all that. But yeah, I'm not really sure what else to say with the decision part, so I guess we'll just go on to how I'm feeling now. Alright, so I guess we'll start off with my overall emotional well-being. I am so much happier now that I've come out and that I've transitioned to a point where I at least pass most of the time. People that I knew from like regular things, like going to the store. Like, this one checkout lady still calls me she all the time. There's this one guy in our apartment building that calls me she. And it's like, you do realize that I don't have boobs and I look like a dude. How do you... But like, I guess they're not gonna ask, they're just gonna continue going. And it's back to that thing about correcting people. I don't want to do it. So it's kind of like partially my fault and partially theirs, but I can't expect them to realize that there's a change going on and stuff like that. So I kind of just let it slide. I try not to take it personally, but yeah. My overall well-being, I'm so much happier with myself. Like, I still have self-esteem issues and stuff like that, and I should really work on that, but I just get so distracted with things that I'm doing. But I really need to take a step back sometimes and just like focus on myself. But as far as like the gender aspect of everything, I am so much happier to be seen as myself. Like I said, I pass most of the time, so I don't have that social dysphoria as much anymore, because most of my dysphoria was based around social dysphoria. If I had to list like the hierarchy of it, it would be social dysphoria, and then it was chest dysphoria, and then it was like my voice, and then it was like my overall passing, which I guess kind of correlates with all the other stuff. But still, that's how I would rank it, and a decent amount of the top tiers have been removed, so I'm just generally much better, much happier, better off the way I am now. I don't really see my family, so that's a cause of anxiety, just because, like, I wonder how it'll work out with my family once I see them again, having transitioned this far and changed so much. Even though it's not where I want to be, like, I'm way excited for the things to come and looking more masculine and all that. But I know I've changed a decent amount. It's pretty obvious whenever I speak to people that I knew before I started hormone replacement therapy. One of the first things they always point out is my voice, which is great because, like I said, that was one of my top tier dysphoria inducing type things. So it's great. I don't know a better way to say it. I enjoy it a lot. Alright, well, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Remember to like and subscribe, comment, all that. I love hearing from you guys. There's a link in the description for my Instagram if you want to see more from me, but that's gonna do it. So have a nice day, week, month, however long until I see you again. Alright, bye.